I always thought my life was stable. I always thought Aaron loved me the way I loved him. I used to tell people he's my safe place, and I truly believed it. That night, when I walked into our apartment, I expected the usual quiet evening. Instead, I froze in the doorway when I heard Aaron's voice drifting from the living room. "Lena, she's nothing without me," he said, laughing softly in a tone I had never heard before. My heart jumped into my throat. I stepped closer, the sound of my own breathing suddenly too loud. "Are you serious?" Lena whispered back. "You think she won't figure it out?" "She won't," Aaron said. "She's too scared to leave me. She always has been." I felt my fingers shake. My mind kept saying, no, this can't be happening. Not them, not together. But their voices kept cutting into me. So Lena said, "When do we tell her about us?" "Soon," Aaron replied. "I'm tired of hiding. I want you with me. We'll move in together once she stops clinging to me." My stomach twisted. I stepped into the room, my voice barely forming. "Move in together?" They both whipped around. Lena's eyes widened. Aaron didn't even look embarrassed. He smirked. "Oh," he said, "you're home early." "Home early?" My voice cracked. "I just heard everything. You two were talking about me like I'm some problem you need to get rid of." Lena stood up. "It's not what you think," she rushed out. "It's exactly what she thinks," Aaron interrupted. "Why pretend now?" I stared at him, waiting for him to apologize, to deny it, to do anything other than shrug like my heartbreak meant nothing. "You said I'm nothing without you?" I asked quietly. He shrugged again. "Well, look at you right now, crying, shaking. You can't even stand up to me." "I'm standing right here," I whispered. "Barely," he shot back. "You won't leave. You never do." "You need me." Lena touched his arm. "Aaron, maybe stop." "No," he said. "She should hear it. I carried her. I supported her. Without me, she's lost." My chest tightened. The pain sharp and deep. "And you planned all this with her?" Aaron laughed. "Don't act surprised." "You knew something was off." "No," I said. "I trusted you." "Then you're stupid," he replied simply. Something inside me cracked so loudly I felt it physically. "How long?" I asked. "Months," Lena whispered. "I'm sorry." "I didn't mean." "You didn't need to," I snapped. "You're my best friend, Lena. I told you everything about him. You knew how much I loved him." She looked down. "I didn't plan it." "It just happened," Aaron sighed. "Look, can we skip the drama? You're not strong enough to leave. Just go to the bedroom and calm down." I stared at him. "You really believe that?" "Yes," he said without hesitation. "You'll break without me." My eyes burned, but something felt different in my chest, like a small fire had finally started. "Watch me," I said. He blinked. "What?" "I'm leaving." He laughed loudly. "You? In this state?" "You'll be back in an hour." I grabbed my coat with shaky hands. "I won't. You're overreacting," he shouted. "Come back here." But I didn't. I walked out, my heart breaking with every step, the hallway spinning around me as rain began pounding against the building like the world itself was collapsing with me. I kept walking until I reached the street, soaked, shaking, barely breathing. In one night, everything I believed in shattered, and nothing would ever be the same again. Rain kept hitting my face as I walked without knowing where I was going. My clothes felt heavy, my hair stuck to my skin, and my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. When I finally looked, the screen was full of Aaron's messages. "Come back now. You're ruining everything. You always make things worse. You can't survive without me." I whispered. Why can't he stop? But my voice broke before I could finish. I dropped to the sidewalk, hugging my knees as the rain mixed with my tears. "I can't breathe," I whispered. "I can't even think." A voice came from beside me. "Hey, are you okay?" I looked up and saw a woman holding an umbrella over me. She wore a warm expression I didn't understand. "I'm fine," I said quickly, wiping my face even though it didn't help. "You're sitting in the rain shaking," she said softly. "That doesn't look fine. I just need a minute," I muttered. She crouched down. "I'm Maya. I live nearby. Do you want to stand up? At least get out of the rain?" "I don't want to bother anyone. You're not bothering me. I don't know you." "True," she said with a small smile, "but you look like someone who shouldn't be alone right now." My throat tightened. "I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Let's start with standing up." she said gently. I hesitated, but she offered her hand. My fingers were trembling when I took it. She helped me up, keeping the umbrella over both of us. Do you live far? She asked. I left, I whispered. I didn't even grab anything. I just walked. Okay, then come to my place for a bit. You can sit, warm up, breathe. That's too much. It's not, she said firmly. I'm not letting you stay out here shaking. I swallowed hard. Why are you being nice to me? She shrugged. Because someone should be. Her words hit something deep inside me. I followed her, my legs weak with every step. When we reached her small apartment, warmth hit me like a wave. She handed me a towel. Dry off before you get sick. I don't have money to pay you back, I said. I didn't ask for money, she replied. Sit down. Tell me what happened if you want. I sat slowly. My boyfriend, no, my ex, he cheated on me with my best friend. The words tasted bitter. And he said I'm nothing without him. Maya sat beside me but didn't interrupt. I kept talking even though my voice shook. I left. I didn't know where to go. I just had to get away. She nodded. You did the right thing. I don't feel right, I whispered. I feel empty, numb. I don't even know if I should cry or scream or just sleep forever. Then don't decide right now, she said softly. Just breathe tonight. One night, that's all. My eyes burned again. Why are you helping me? Because I've been where you are, she said. And someone helped me, she stood. I have a spare room. You're staying there tonight. I can't. You can, she insisted. You need a place that's safe. The word safe made something inside me tremble. I nodded slowly. Okay, Maya smiled gently. Good, you're not alone tonight. For the first time since my world broke, I felt the tiniest spark of safety, small, warm, and real. Morning light slipped through the curtains when I opened my eyes. For a second, I didn't know where I was. Then the memories rushed back, rain, the sidewalk, Maya's soft voice telling me I wasn't alone. I sat up slowly, my head heavy and my chest tight. When I walked to the bathroom, I almost looked away from the mirror, but something stopped me. My reflection didn't look like me. My eyes were swollen, my lips were trembling, and my skin looked drained. I whispered, "Who are you?" Even though I knew the answer. I looked like someone who had been broken by the person she trusted most. A knock came from the door. You okay in there? Maya asked gently. I'm trying, I said. Take your time, she replied. Breakfast is almost ready. I washed my face and stepped out. Maya was setting 2 plates on the table. She looked up. You slept a long time. That's good. I didn't mean to take over your room, I said. It's a spare room, she replied. It's supposed to be used. I sat down, my hand shaking slightly. She noticed. Do you want to talk? She asked. I stared at the food for a moment. I don't know where to start. Start anywhere, she said. I'm here. I took a breath. Aaron and I were together for years. I always tried to make him happy. I thought if I worked hard enough, he'd love me the same way. And he didn't? Maya asked softly. He used me, I whispered. And last night I heard him telling Lena that I'm nothing without him. Maya's expression darkened with sympathy. I'm sorry, I shook my head. I kept telling myself he cared. I ignored every sign. I thought if I tried harder, if I changed myself enough, things would get better. Why did you think you had to change? She asked. The question hit hard. Because he always made me feel like I wasn't enough. Like everything I did was wrong. Maya leaned her elbows on the table. Do you believe him? I don't know, I said. Part of me still hears his voice. Part of me thinks maybe he was right. He wasn't, she said firmly. You walked away. That takes strength. I looked down at my hands. I don't feel strong. You don't have to feel it for it to be true, she said. Strength shows up in actions. Silence hung between us for a moment. I finally asked, why are you helping me? You don't even know me. Because when I needed help, someone did the same for me, Maya said. And because you looked like you were carrying something too heavy alone. I swallowed hard. Thank you. You're welcome, she said. Stay here as long as you need. No pressure. Just safety. The word safety softened something inside me again. I don't know what to do next, I admitted. You don't need to decide everything today, she said. But maybe decide one thing. What thing? Whether you're going back to him. I felt my stomach twist. The thought of Aaron's voice, his smirk, his cruel words made my chest tighten. I whispered, "No, not today. Not tomorrow. Maybe never." Maya nodded. "Good, that's a start." For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was choosing myself. I heard the pounding before I even reached the door. It shook the hallway like an angry heartbeat. I opened it just enough to step outside, and there he was, Aaron, breathing hard, eyes wild. "What are you doing here?" I asked, keeping my voice flat. "Maya told me where you were," he snapped. "Open the damn door. I'm already outside." "Say what you came to say." He dragged a hand through his hair dramatically. "Okay, fine, I messed up. Are you happy?" "I'm here to apologize." That didn't sound like an apology. He exhaled loudly. "You always make things difficult." "Look, Lena, she seduced me. You know how she is." I stared at him. "That's your excuse?" "She practically threw herself at me," he insisted. "You know I'm weak when I feel unwanted." "And you've been distant for months." I was stressed. "You knew that." "Yeah, well, stress doesn't excuse how cold you've been." He stepped closer. "I'm telling you I'm sorry." "Isn't that what you wanted?" "No," I said quietly. "That isn't what I wanted at all." His face tightened. "Why aren't you reacting?" "Cry, yell, just do something." "I don't owe you a reaction." "Oh, so now you're some kind of stone wall." He scoffed. Unbelievable, I folded my arms. "You can leave now." He barked out a bitter laugh. "Are you kidding me? After everything I've done for you? You wouldn't even have a life without me." My jaw clenched. "What life is that?" "The one where you don't fall apart," he shot back. "I keep you functional. I give you direction. Without me, you wander around like some lost pathetic." "That's enough," I said, louder than I meant to. "Oh, now you have a voice," he sneered. "Too bad you didn't use it before everything went to hell." The apartment door swung open behind me. Maya stepped out, her expression sharp. "You need to back up," she told him. "Right now." Aaron rolled his eyes. "Oh, look, the savior roommate." "What are you gonna do, Maya? Lecture me about emotional maturity again?" "If I have to," she replied. "You're acting like a child throwing a tantrum." He laughed coldly. "Of course I am." "Because she runs to you for everything now." "You both think you're better than me." "We don't think it," Maya said. "We know it." "Shut up," he snapped. Then he turned on me again. "Tell her to mind her own business." "Tell her this is between us." "I won't," I said. His nostrils flared. "You're really choosing her over me?" "I'm choosing myself," I answered. For a moment, he just stared, stunned, as if he couldn't process words unless they praised him. Then he shook his head. "You're nothing without me. Nothing." I took a small breath. "Aaron, no." "I'm done." The words didn't tremble. My voice didn't crack. It was the calmest I'd sounded in years. He blinked at me as if I'd slapped him. "No?" He repeated. "Did you just say no to me?" "Yes." He stepped back, mouth twisted. "You'll regret this. You'll come crawling back when you realize no one else wants you." "That won't happen." "Watch," he said bitterly. "You'll see." He turned and walked toward the stairs, muttering curses under his breath. The echo of his steps faded, but my heart didn't slow. Maya touched my shoulder gently. "Are you okay?" "I don't know," I whispered. My hands were shaking, but it wasn't fear. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't even anger. It was something else, something I never felt this strongly before. Strength. A strange, rising strength that made my chest feel full and my spine feel straight. And for the first time, I didn't run from it. Maya stood in the doorway that morning, arms crossed, watching me stare at my reflection like it was a stranger. "You're going to do great," she said. "Just breathe." "I'm breathing," I muttered. "Just unevenly." She laughed. "That's still breathing, come on." "Elias will be there, and he's the easiest person in the world to talk to." "That doesn't help," I said. "Easy people make me more nervous. I don't know how to act around kindness." "Well," she replied, grabbing her bag, "maybe it's time you learn." On the way to the agency, my chest kept rising and falling like it was trying to escape. What if I say something stupid? I asked. "Then Elias will pretend you didn't," she said. "He's gentle like that." "Gentle sounds suspicious." "No," she said, nudging me. "Gentle sounds healthy." When we arrived, the office looked smaller than I'd imagined warm lighting. A cluttered bulletin board, soft chatter. Maya waved someone over. Elias. She's here. He approached quietly, as if he didn't want to startle me. Tall, calm, thoughtful eyes. Hi, he said with a small smile. You must be the brilliant friend Maya never shuts up about. I'm not brilliant, I said quickly. He raised a brow. Then I look forward to disagreeing with you. My stomach flipped. That's kind of intimidating. Good, he said lightly. Means you're taking this seriously. We sat down at a small table. He glanced at my trembling hands. Nervous? Very. Good, he said again. Nervous people try harder. Overconfident people crash faster. I let out a shaky laugh. That's oddly comforting. It's meant to be. He slid a short project brief toward me. Walk me through how you'd approach this. I took a breath and explained my ideas, hesitant at first, then steadier as he nodded along. When I finished, I waited for the criticism I was so used to. But Elias simply said, That's thoughtful and efficient. You have a strong instinct. I do? I whispered. Yes, he said softly. You should trust that. When the interview ended, Maya met me in the hallway. So? How was it? I don't know, I admitted. Elias is different. She smirked. Good different? I think so. Before she could tease me, Elias stepped out of the room. Hey, he said. Can you stay for a minute? My heart dropped. Is something wrong? He shook his head. Something is right. If you want the job, it's yours. My mouth fell open. Are you serious? He chuckled. I don't joke about staffing decisions. Yes, I want it. Great, he said. Welcome to the team. Maya let out a little squeal beside me. I told you. At my desk later, staring at my computer, I whispered, I'm actually doing this. You okay? Elias asked from across the room. I think so, just surprised. By what? That I'm not falling apart, I said honestly. That someone thinks I can do something. He leaned against a desk. People don't get confidence magically. They borrow it until it becomes theirs. His voice softened. Borrow mine for now. My throat tightened. Why are you being so nice? Because I can see you're trying, he said. And because you deserve a chance without someone tearing you down. His words hit me harder than I expected. For hours, I worked learning, fumbling, trying again. Every time I doubted myself, I heard his voice. You have a strong instinct. By the end of the day, my head spun, but not from fear, from possibility. I walked home alone, the evening breeze cool on my face. For the first time in weeks, my lips curved upward, unforced. I was smiling, and it felt like the start of something I never thought I could have again. I was typing an email when Maya leaned over my desk with a grin that immediately made me suspicious. Don't freak out, she whispered, but you're going to love what I just heard. I already don't love it, I said. You're smiling too hard, she snorted. Okay, fine. But listen, remember Aaron's little business pitch he wouldn't stop bragging about? My chest tightened. What about it? It flopped, she said, barely containing her delight. Apparently he showed up late, talked over everyone, and tried to blame the assistant for messing up his files. I blinked. That sounds exactly like him. There's more, she said. Lena freaked out at him for embarrassing her. They had a huge fight in public. I looked down at my hands. That's something. That's karma, she corrected. Small but delicious. I'm not celebrating, I said softly. You don't have to, she replied. Your face already is. My lips twitched before I could control them. Okay, maybe a tiny bit. A tiny bit, she laughed. You look like someone just offered you free dessert for life. I shook my head and returned to my work, but the quiet satisfaction hummed under my ribs. It wasn't revenge, it wasn't victory. It was just balance. Like the universe was slowly straightening itself. A little later, Elias stepped into the room. Team, 2 minutes, he called out. I want to highlight something. My stomach dropped. I never liked being called out. When everyone gathered, he held up the report I had worked on. This, he said, is clean, smart, and sharper than what we usually produce. Great job. I froze. Are you talking about mine? Yes, you, he said, smiling like it was obvious. You pushed the project forward. He crawled up my neck. I just followed the outline and improved it, he said. Own that. The team clapped lightly and I tried not to melt into the floor. When everyone returned to work, I breathed out slowly. Elias walked past my desk, tapping it twice. "Well done," he murmured. My voice came out small. "Thank you, really." He nodded once, like he understood everything I wasn't saying. At home that evening, Maya tossed her bag on the couch and said, "So, Elias." I glared. "Don't start?" "Oh, I'm already in the middle of it," she said, dropping beside me. "You were blushing so hard today the walls turned pink." "I was not." "You were," she insisted. "He complimented you, and you looked like you were about to faint in romantic slow motion." I groaned into my hands. "I'm not ready for anything. I barely understand myself right now." "Fair," she said gently. "But you can't deny the warmth." I swallowed. "I don't know what to do with warmth. I'm used to other things." "Well," she said, nudging me, "warmth isn't asking you to do anything. Just feel it." I stared at the ceiling. "It feels nice, scary, but nice," Maya smiled. "Then let it be both." As I lay in bed later, I replayed Elias's voice telling me to own my work, the pride in his eyes, the softness in his tone. Small karma had found Aaron, but small healing had found me too. And for the first time, I wasn't running from either. I was finishing a draft when a loud bang shook the office door. My heart jumped. Before I even turned around, I heard his voice. "Where is she? Where the hell is she?" My blood ran cold. "Aaron," Maya whispered. "Oh no," as he shoved the door open and stepped inside, wild-eyed and breathing hard. "There you are," he snapped, pointing at me. "Get your things, we're going home." I stood slowly. "Don't do this here." "Oh, now you care about embarrassment?" He barked. "You left me looking like a fool, and now you're hiding behind strangers?" "I'm working," I said, forcing my voice to stay steady. He laughed, loud and sharp. "Working? You don't work." "You follow orders, mine." Maya stepped beside me. "You need to calm down." Aaron glared at her. "Stay out of this." "She's only like this because you people filled her head with lies." I swallowed. "No one filled my head with anything." "Really?" he said. "Then tell me why you're here like some lost puppy. You think these people care about you? You think they know you like I do?" "I'm not going home with you," I said. His face twisted. "You don't get to say that?" Elias approached from his office, his voice steady. "Sir, you're disrupting the workplace." "You need to leave." Aaron turned on him instantly. "So you're the one. The little genius who thinks he can brainwash her." "No one is brainwashing me," I said, louder this time. Aaron laughed again. "Look at you pretending to be strong. You're nothing without me, nothing." My chest tightened, but I didn't look away. "That's not true anymore." He stepped closer. "I built you. I kept you together. Everyone here should know what you really are, just a broken girl I fixed." The words hit hard, but instead of collapsing, I felt something inside me rise, solid and steady. "You didn't fix me," I said. "You broke me. And I'm done letting you do it." Murmurs spread through the office. People were watching, but for once, I didn't care. Elias stepped between us slightly. "Leave now, or security will escort you out." Aaron scoffed. "Security? For me? You think I'm scared of you?" "I think," Elias said calmly, "you're upsetting someone who no longer wants you here." Aaron looked back at me. "Tell him it's a misunderstanding. Tell him you're coming home." "I'm not," I said quietly. "I don't belong to you." His eyes widened, disbelief turning into rage. "You ungrateful. Enough," I said. "I'm done fighting with you. I'm done letting you control me. Please leave." He shook his head like he couldn't hear me. "You'll come crawling back." "You always do." "I won't," I said. "Not this time." He stared at me for a long moment, fury shaking his whole body. Then he slammed his hand against a desk, startling several people, and stormed toward the exit. "Pathetic," he shouted as he left. "All of you." The door slammed behind him, and the room fell painfully quiet. My knees wobbled, but I stayed standing. Maya placed a hand on my back. "Hey, breathe," I tried. Air came in shaky pieces. Elias stepped closer, his voice soft. "Are you okay?" My throat tightened. "I think so," he nodded slowly. "You handled that better than anyone could have." I swallowed hard. "I didn't break." "No," he said, meeting my eyes. "You didn't," and for the first time I fully believed it. I caught my reflection in the elevator mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back. Straight posture, hair brushed, clothes that weren't just thrown on. "Who are you?" I whispered. "You," Maya said from behind me. But better, I turned to see her smiling. "Better feels weird." "Good weird," she said. "You're glowing." I swallowed, feeling a flutter in my chest. "I guess I've been taking care of myself." "You're not just guessing," she said, nudging my shoulder. "You've actually changed." At work that morning, I spoke up during the team meeting for the first time without hesitation. "I think we can streamline the project by shifting the deadlines," I said. Eyes turned to me. Elias gave a small nod, subtle but reassuring. "Exactly," he said later, leaning toward me. "That's the kind of insight that moves the whole team forward." "Thanks," I murmured. My heart raced, but it was different this time, excitement, not panic. After work, I went for a run. My legs burned, my lungs gasped, but I smiled through it. "This is for me," I whispered. "Not for anyone else." Later, cooking dinner, I hummed to myself. The kitchen smelled like garlic and roasted vegetables, the sizzle of the pan comforting. Maya walked in, hands on her hips. "You're domestic now?" She teased. I laughed, trying to be surprised. "A little," she said, shaking her head. Then she came over and hugged me. "I'm proud of you, you know that?" Heat rushed to my cheeks. "Thanks, Maya." The hug lingered, and I felt an unfamiliar warmth in my chest, hope maybe. Elias called that evening. "You're cooking?" he asked lightly. "I thought you'd be too tired." "I'm experimenting," I said, trying not to sound too eager. "Good. Send a picture." "I want proof you're surviving without burning the kitchen down." I laughed. "Deal." Over the next few weeks, I noticed changes. My voice carried more weight. My ideas were taken seriously. I dressed in clothes that made me feel strong instead of invisible. I even started lifting weights, feeling my body respond to the effort. Each small victory piled up, and with each one, Aaron felt smaller and smaller in my memory. Yet, late at night, lying in bed, the shadows returned. A tiny voice whispered, "Did you move on too fast?" Fear and guilt coiled tight in my stomach, but it was weaker than before. Then another voice, quiet but steady, rose in defiance. "You're allowed to live. You're allowed to feel joy. You're allowed to become yourself." I closed my eyes, letting that thought settle. My chest felt lighter than it had in years. I whispered to myself, almost like a prayer, almost like a promise. Maybe I can become someone new. And for the first time, the words didn't scare me. They felt possible, real. The woman I had been broken, unsure, afraid was still there, but beside her, someone stronger was rising. And I was finally noticing her. Maya burst into my apartment with a stack of newspapers and a grin I didn't quite trust. "You're going to want to sit for this," she said. I raised an eyebrow. "Sit? What happened?" She tossed the first paper onto the coffee table. "Aaron and Lena are done." "Completely done," I blinked. "Already?" Apparently, he went off at her again, verbally abusive. She had enough, packed up and left. "He's alone now." I sank onto the couch, staring at the headlines. "And I'm supposed to feel pity?" Maya shook her head. "Not necessary. You're allowed closure instead." I exhaled slowly, letting the relief seep in. "Closure feels strange." "It should," she said. "You didn't expect it to be this clean." "Not clean," I muttered, "just right." She smiled knowingly. "Right, that's exactly it." Later that afternoon, Elias stopped by my desk. "I have a new project coming up," he said casually. "I think you should be part of it." "Really?" I asked, trying not to sound too eager. "Yes," he said. "It's a big opportunity. Could lead to a promotion if you handle it well." My chest fluttered. I'd love that." He gave a small nod. "Great, let's start planning. Stay late if you need to." The office emptied slowly, leaving just us. I watched him outline the project, his fingers tracing timelines and budgets. "I know it's a lot, but I think you can manage it," he said, glancing at me with that calm, steady expression that always made me feel like I could do anything. I swallowed. "I'm nervous." "Good," he said softly. "Nervous people care. That means they'll try harder." We worked side by side for hours, sharing ideas and revising plans. Between tasks, he leaned back and asked, "Do you even realize how strong you've become?" I froze mid-typing. "Strong?" He nodded. "You don't see it yourself, but I do. You handled Aaron, handled life crashing down, and you didn't break. You kept moving. I looked down at my hands, heat rising to my cheeks. I just did what I had to do. He chuckled lightly. That's what everyone says. But you went beyond surviving. You're thriving. I blinked, glancing at him quickly, heart beating faster. Thriving, maybe. I don't know if I can believe that yet. You can, he said softly. You just have to see yourself the way others see you. I felt my stomach flutter like a secret I wasn't ready to admit aloud. Maybe one day, I murmured. He smiled at me, a small, quiet smile that felt like encouragement, not pressure. One day is closer than you think. The office clock ticked past midnight. I yawned, stretching, and Elias looked up. You should get some rest. I will, I said, feeling both exhaustion and an unexpected thrill from our long conversation. Thanks for everything today. He nodded, brushing back his hair. No, thank you, for your effort, for listening, for showing me how capable you are. My cheeks burned. I appreciate that. He smiled again and packed up his laptop. Tomorrow we continue. You're doing great. Don't doubt yourself. As I watched him leave, I sank back into my chair and let the events of the day settle. Aaron and Lena's chaos, their consequences gone. My life moving forward brightening. And Elias, well, he made me feel like I wasn't just surviving anymore. Closure, opportunity, a spark of something new. I whispered to myself, heart still racing, maybe this is what strength feels like. I wasn't sure why I agreed to meet him. Maybe I wanted to see the man who once controlled my world crumble in front of me. Maybe I just needed closure. He was sitting on the bench outside the park, head in his hands. When he looked up and saw me, his eyes glistened. Real tears. I froze. Hi, he whispered. His voice cracked. I sat down slowly, keeping my distance. Hi, I need to say something, he said. I know I don't deserve your time, but please listen. I nodded silently. I was wrong, he started, voice breaking. I was awful to you. I lied, I cheated, and made you feel worthless. And losing you ruined me. I stared at him, heart pounding. Part of me wanted to reach for him, to comfort him, but another part clenched in anger. You were my only peace, he continued, tears rolling down his cheeks. The only person who ever made me feel whole, and I threw it away. I can't stop thinking about it. I swallowed hard, my mind was spinning. Part of me remembered the nights I cried myself to sleep, wondering if I'd ever escape him. The countless times he told me I was nothing without him, and now he was crying over losing me. I don't know what to say, I whispered. You don't have to say anything, he begged. Just let me try again, I'll change. I swear I'll be different. I'll be better. Just give me one more chance. I closed my eyes, trying to silence the storm inside me, anger, hurt, memories of betrayal. In some strange tug of nostalgia, I had loved him once, foolishly, desperately. But I wasn't that person anymore. I started, voice trembling, I listened. I heard everything you said. And I understand how you feel. He leaned forward, hope shining in his tear-filled eyes. So, I said, voice steadying, you broke me. You shattered the person I was. And I fixed myself. I paused, letting the words settle. I don't belong to you anymore. He blinked, frozen. Then his face crumpled, the mask of arrogance and control gone. No, please, he whispered, hands reaching out. I can't do this without you. I shook my head gently. You can, you'll have to. But I won't be part of it. He sank back onto the bench, shoulders slumping, the tears falling freely now. I lost everything, he murmured. Yes, I said softly, you did. And it's not my job to rebuild it for you. I stood up slowly, feeling the weight lift from my chest with each step. My legs carried me forward, away from the man who had once defined me and toward the life I was reclaiming. Wait! He called after me, voice desperate. But I didn't turn. The wind brushed against my face, cool and light, as I walked. Each step was mine. Every breath felt fuller, freer. I felt a strange sadness for the man who couldn't see the person he lost, but it didn't touch the peace rising inside me. I smiled faintly to myself. Strange how light I felt after carrying so much pain for so long. Free even though part of me ached. For the first time, I realized I wasn't just leaving him behind. I was leaving my old self behind too. And that made all the difference. The promotion email flashed on my screen, and for a moment I couldn't breathe. I read it again. My eyes blurred with disbelief and relief. Elias appeared at my side with a grin. "You did it," he said softly. "I actually did it?" I asked, voice trembling. "Yes," he said, nudging me gently. "You earned it." "You really did." I laughed, shaking my head. "It feels unreal." He smiled, quiet and proud. "I told you, you're stronger than you think." Later that evening, Maya appeared at my door with balloons, a small cake, and an energy that could light up the entire apartment. "Celebration time," she declared, dragging me into the living room. "Surprise," she said. "You've worked too hard to let this pass without a little party." I laughed, hugging her tightly. "I didn't expect this." "Thank you." "You deserve it," she said, stepping back to admire her handiwork. "You've survived, thrived, and now you're living. And look at all the people who love you, not fear you, not control you, but love you." I swallowed, feeling warmth spread through my chest. I've never felt this before. "Not really." As friends dropped by and laughter filled the room, Elias leaned against the wall, quiet but watching me with that calm, steady expression. Later, when most of the guests left, he approached. "I wanted to tell you something," he said softly, voice almost hesitant. I looked up at him. "What is it?" He ran a hand through his hair and then met my eyes. "I like you, more than a friend, but I'm not going to rush you." "I'll wait. I'll follow your pace." My chest fluttered. I felt my heart open, slow and soft, in a way I didn't expect. "Elias, I want to see where this goes." "I want to try." He smiled, a quiet relief washing over his face. That's all I could hope for. We stepped out into the night together, cool air brushing against our faces. I noticed the stars above, small and distant but steady, like the life I was building bright, real mine. He reached for my hand. I hesitated for a heartbeat, then intertwined my fingers with his. The contact felt electric, grounding, comforting. "This feels nice," I whispered. "It should," he said softly. "We're both here, choosing this, together." I nodded, letting the warmth of his hand settle over mine. Together, as we walked home, the streets quiet and familiar, I felt an unexpected joy. Not the shallow kind that fades, but the deep, steady kind that grows with each step you take in the right direction. I realized how far I had come from a girl who thought she was nothing without Aaron, to a woman who knew her own worth, who had fought to reclaim herself, and who now had love surrounding her, love built on respect, not fear. The city lights reflected in his eyes as we moved in sync, fingers still entwined. I breathed in deeply, feeling both excitement and peace. For the first time in my life, I felt like I had chosen a life for me, and it was beautiful. And holding his hand, walking into the future, I knew this was only the beginning. I wake up each morning feeling light. The weight of fear, doubt, and heartbreak that used to cling to me is gone. I stretch, smile at my reflection, and think I built this. Every scar, every tear, every late night I built me. Elias knocks lightly on my door. "Morning," he says, voice soft. "Morning," I reply, smiling. His presence feels warm, steady, safe. Not the suffocating control Aaron once had. "You ready for today?" He asks, teasing. I nod, brushing my hair back. "More than ever," he grins. "I like this version of you." "I like her too," I say, laughing. Even if she's a little bossy sometimes. Later, my phone buzzes. A familiar name flashes across the screen. Aaron. My fingers hover over it for a moment, and then I swipe, blocking him without hesitation. No second thought, no hesitation. He is the girl I used to be, small, scared, trapped. He doesn't deserve a part of me now. Maya's text arrives soon after. "Coffee later?" I smile, feeling a warmth that has nothing to do with guilt or obligation. Everything to do with love. Chosen love. Coffee? I whisper to myself. Absolutely. The day moves with purpose. At work, I present my ideas confidently. The team listens. They respect me. Elias gives me a supportive nod from across the room, and I feel that quiet thrill in my chest, the thrill of being seen, being valued, being capable. Impressive work, Elias says later as we leave. "You've grown so much. You've become unstoppable." I laugh softly. "Unstoppable, maybe." "No, really," he insists. "You've built yourself from the ground up, brick by brick, day by day. And now look at you." I glance at my hands, flexing slightly. These hands that once shook in fear, these hands that once clutched for approval, they made me. They built me. "You taught me strength," I tell him, voice low but sincere. I didn't know I had it until I had no choice but to find it. He reaches for my hand. And now you get to share it carefully if you want. But only when you're ready. I nod, letting my fingers intertwine with his. I feel grounded. I feel free. The city streets feel alive beneath my feet. The air feels crisp and full of promise. I stop for a moment, taking it all in. The woman I am now, strong, confident, unbroken, is a far cry from the girl who once froze in a doorway, hearing betrayal that shattered her world. I think of Aaron again, the man who thought he could own me. I feel nothing but gratitude that his words no longer have power, that his presence is no longer a threat. Maya joins us, wrapping her arms around me in a tight hug. You're incredible, she says. I'm proud to call you family. I hug her back, letting the warmth sink in. I'm proud of us, I whisper. For choosing each other, for surviving, for living. Walking home, Elias at my side, Maya in my heart, I finally understand what it means to know my worth. Not a worth measured by someone else's approval, but by my own strength, resilience, and courage. I think back on all the nights I cried, all the moments I doubted myself, all the times I let fear control me. And I realize how far I've come. Brick by brick, tear by tear, laugh by laugh, I built myself from nothing into everything. The past is no longer a chain, it is the foundation. The pain, the betrayal, the heartbreak, they all serve to carve out the woman I am today. Strong, confident, unstoppable. And I whisper the words that taste like victory and liberation. He once said I was nothing without him. Now I'm everything without him. I squeeze Eli's hand and smile at Maya's supportive grin, letting the city lights guide us forward. I am free, I am whole. I am mine. The future stretches ahead, bright and untouchable, and I finally feel the quiet, unshakable power of truly belonging to myself.